Good afternoon, friends. I welcome you to this special briefing on Prime Minister's upcoming visit to Saudi Arabia. We have with us Foreign Secretary Shri Vikram Misri for this special briefing. We are also joined by Additional Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs who looks after Gulf countries, Shri Asim Mahajan. With that, I invite Foreign Secretary, sir, to make his remarks. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Randir. Thank you all for being here in such good numbers on a Saturday afternoon again. As you are already aware, the Honorable Prime Minister will be paying a visit to Saudi Arabia next week on 22nd and 23rd of April 2025. This is a visit at the invitation of His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince and Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You would also recall that this visit follows the visit by His Royal Highness to India in September 2023 on the occasion of the G20 summit. And that was also the occasion when the first ever meeting of the newly established Strategic Partnership Council between the two countries was held. The upcoming visit will be Prime Minister's third visit in this capacity to Saudi Arabia. He has visited earlier in 2016 and 2019. In 2016, during his first visit, the Prime Minister was conferred the Kingdom's highest civilian honor, the King Abdulaziz Sash, and in October 2019, he paid his second visit, which followed the first visit of the Crown Prince himself to India earlier that year in February 2019. During Prime Minister's second visit, the two countries signed the agreement on establishing the Strategic Partnership Council, which is a high-level council at the summit level to steer relations between the two countries. The Strategic Partnership Council has two subcommittees, the Committee on Political, Security, Social and Cultural Relations, and the Committee on Economic and Investment related issues, which also deals with trade and technology. Both the committees have a number of subcommittees and joint working groups under them, and they have been having and holding their meetings over the past several months, and the upcoming visit will be an opportunity to hold the second summit level meeting of this Strategic Partnership Council. The visit is important also on account of the obvious significance of Saudi Arabia as a strategic partner for India. You're aware of the salience that this relationship has for India's energy security. Saudi Arabia hosts a very large Indian expatriate community, possibly the second largest expatriate community of its kind anywhere in the world. Saudi Arabia is a leading voice in the Islamic world and is increasingly playing an important role in regional developments. And therefore, from all of these perspectives, the visit provides an opportunity to build on the already strong relations with this strategic partner. You're also aware that the Prime Minister and the Crown Prince share a very close personal relationship with a lot of warmth and respect for each other. And the bilateral relationship has gained a lot from strategic guidance at the topmost level. And there has been significant momentum also in this relationship in recent years. And in this context, two areas that I would like to underline are defense and economic ties between the two countries. The defense partnership has witnessed several firsts in the past few years. We had the first ever joint land forces exercise between the two countries in 2024. I think it's called the Sadat Tansik 1. Two editions have been held of joint naval exercises. We've had regular exchanges on training and capacity building, and staff talks are taking place across all the three services. Our cooperation has also expanded on the defense industry front, and India is gaining space as an important supplier of defense stores to Saudi Arabia, and a special agreement on the export of munitions to the kingdom worth about $225 million was signed last year. The economic partnership also continues to grow. The value of total trade between the two countries in 23-24 was nearly $43 billion. In Saudi Arabia is India's fifth largest trading partner overall, and India is the kingdom's second largest trading partner overall. I gave you the figures for 23-24, which comprised India's imports from Saudi Arabia at nearly $31.42 billion and exports to Saudi Arabia of about $11.56 billion. Apart from trade, investment also continues to do well, and there are investments across different sectors such as energy, steel, chemicals, food sector, telecommunications, and startups. Saudi Arabia, as you are aware, is undertaking a number of mega infrastructure construction projects, and many of those have opportunities for Indian companies, not only from the investment perspective, but also participating in them from the project execution perspective. And in this way, Indian companies are actually playing an important role in realizing the Saudi Vision 2030 objective that the kingdom has set for itself. I spoke earlier about the salience of Saudi Arabia as a key player in our energy scenario. The value of the energy trade in 23-24 was $25.7 billion. The kingdom remains India's third largest crude and petroleum sourcing destination. These are the figures for 23-24, and in that year they accounted for 14.3% of India's total crude oil imports. That year, Saudi Arabia was also the third largest source of LPG for India, accounting for almost 18% of the total LPG imports of India. And we are looking at infusing an even more strategic outlook in the energy partnership between the two countries, and we expect that the forthcoming visit will have some developments related to this as well. Just a few words with regard to the elements of the program. The Prime Minister's engagements will include, incidentally, the visit will be hosted by Saudi Arabia in the city of Jeddah. The Prime Minister's engagements will include a one-on-one meeting with His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, as well as formal engagements that include a ceremonial welcome and bilateral talks. As I said, the two leaders will co-chair the second meeting of the Strategic Partnership Council. I've spoken about the two key pillars, the political and ministerial, the political and economic pillars, which are led at the ministerial level between the two sides. The visit is also likely to see the conclusion of several MOUs between the two sides. Some of these are in the final stage of approvals and brushing up, and we will have more details to release about these during the course of the visit. I also mentioned in my earlier remarks the importance of the people-to-people relationship between the two countries. As I said, nearly 2.7 million Indians live and work in the kingdom. The Indian community comprises the second largest group of Indians living abroad, and it's a matter of great satisfaction that the Indian community in Saudi Arabia is very well regarded for its significant contribution to the national life and economic development of the kingdom. And during the visit, the Prime Minister will visit a factory employing Indian workers and will interact with them as well. On the same subject, in terms of people-to-people relations, yoga has been very well received in the kingdom, and the ongoing cooperation between the two countries in the field of media, entertainment and sports has great and significant potential. Saudi Arabia obviously plays a very important role in facilitating the visit of thousands of Indian citizens for the annual pilgrimages for Hajj and Umrah, and we've been coordinating closely this year as well with Saudi authorities, and we thank the Saudi leadership for the continued assistance that they have provided to Indian pilgrims traveling to Saudi Arabia for these purposes. So from all these perspectives, it is clear that the relationship between the two countries spans a wide spectrum, and in addition to the traditional areas, there is growing interest and keenness to get into new areas. I mentioned defense as a relatively new area, including defense industrial procurement, but so also things such as renewable energy investments, healthcare services, tourism and entertainment. You would recall that on the sidelines of the G20 summit in September 2023, Saudi Arabia was amongst the other partners that joined India in the conclusion of the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor Agreement. And as partners under this agreement, both countries are actively exploring opportunities in regional connectivity, in logistics, clean energy, electricity and data cooperation. The visit therefore provides the opportunity to leadership in both countries to engage on all of these strategic areas, to deepen our partnership, and most importantly, of course, to share their perspectives at a time when the regional and global economic and security situation is in a certain amount of flux. So the visit is coming at a very, very opportune time as well. Let me stop there. I'll be happy to take a few questions.
So, can we go with Rishabh here first?
Once again, good evening, Rishabh from Times Now. So, since Prime Minister is traveling to Saudi Arabia, in the region, Houthis have been a cause of concern for the free movement, and India has also been operating in Gulf of Eden and other such parts. Will there be discussion on Houthis as well, given that Saudi Arabia also has stakes in the region? A, and B, on West Asian situation, what else can we expect on the table? Whether Palestine-Israel issue will also be discussed, and furthermore, regional issues will be discussed.
Ayushi?
So this is Ayushi Agwal from ANI. So you mentioned about the IMEC corridor. So will there be any discussion on the progress when it comes to the connectivity corridor? And second, since Saudi played an important role when it comes to mediation of Russia-Ukraine war, will the Prime Minister be briefed about the negotiation that has held in Riyadh so far?
Friend there.
Sir, this is Barna from Mathiam Delhi. You have mentioned Hajj and Umrah pilgrimage. There was an urgent request from combined Hajj group organizers of India for an intervention of PM to resolve issues affecting more than 52,507 Indian Hajj pilgrims who had booked their pilgrimage through private operators. So, as per the latest circular by Ministry of Minority Affairs, only 20% of the private quota is being confirmed, leaving nearly 80% of the registered pilgrims uncertain about their journey. Will Prime Minister discuss the matter with Saudi? Is there any update on this issue?
Sridhar?
Sir, Sridhar from the Asian Media Technical Chronicle. My question was much the same, but I just wanted to ask, is there a real chance that the Saudis may actually increase the, because 52,000, out of 52,000, I think they have given 10,000 slots. So is there a real, because your statement also, the Minority Affairs Ministry mentioned that it would be appreciated if the Saudis would further increase. So will the PM actually intervene, and is there a real chance that the Saudis may increase it further? Thank you.
Siddhant?
Hello, Foreign Secretary. I'm Siddhant from CNN News 18. So my question is regarding the way Riyadh is facilitating talks between the two sides as far as war in Europe is concerned. Perhaps something that India has been saying from a very beginning, solution through dialogue and diplomacy, and now finally that is taking place in Riyadh. So whether PM Sir will share his perspective on the war, and there would be a discussion on it, point number one. So point number two, sir, IMEC was launched at the time of G20, and we have done enough with the UAE as far as IMEC is concerned. Prime Minister was in France. In fact, he held talks with President Macron also, and some of the countries have also appointed their special envoy for the project. But from the Saudi side, sir, there has been a very less development kind of messaging, signaling as far as this project is concerned. So do you see this as an opportunity so that Indian side can push it, so that IMEC Saudi part can come up as early as possible? Thank you.
You got my questions.
Okay. To Rishabh's first question related to Houthis. Now, obviously, as I said in my opening remarks, this is a very important opportunity to compare notes on several issues of mutual concern in related to the regional situation as well as the global developments. And what you have referred to, the attacks by the Houthis with regard to shipping and navigation, etc., is obviously something that India has been closely monitoring as well, and we are obviously also watching with some concern the developments in the region, including most recently. We have obviously great concerns about freedom of navigation, the safety and security of our vessels and our seafarers on board those vessels in the region. As you mentioned, the Indian Navy has mounted a significant effort in that area and already taken a number of measures to ensure the safety of merchant ships and seafarers. We've conducted several anti-piracy operations and several search and rescue and relief operations as well, responding to a number of distress calls that have been received from platforms that have come under attack in the region. So I think given the stakes that both sides have in this particular area, not just from the economic and commercial perspective, but also from the political and strategic perspective, I would imagine that this is going to be a significant area of discussion between the two sides. I won't prejudge exactly what the contours will be and what the outcome will be, but I think this is definitely going to be an important area of discussion. Likewise, for discussions on the situation about on West Asia, the current state of affairs between Israel and Palestine. And obviously on that front also, we've seen developments of some concern. Saudi Arabia plays a very important role in addressing this issue. India has remained involved with all the principal actors in this issue. We've met with and discussed with leadership both from Palestine as well as Israel, as also regional leaders, whether it be from Jordan, Egypt, and indeed Saudi Arabia as well. And given the multiple initiatives that are underway in the region right now, whether it is trying to settle the situation with regard to the release of hostages, or about the facilitation of humanitarian assistance, or a ceasefire. In some ways, these are interlinked issues. We have engaged on all of them, and this would be a very important opportunity to engage with a very, very important actor on these issues. So again, I think this is going to make for a very interesting and rich discussion between the two sides, between the two leaders. On Ayushi's question of progress with regard to IMEC, and I think some others have also asked about IMEC. Look, after the signing of the framework understanding on IMEC in September 2023, we obviously had, all the partners had an urgent regional situation to address, which meant that the kind of groundwork that was foreseen between all the partners could not begin immediately. That, however, does not mean that individual countries or groups of countries that are part of the original agreement have not discussed or engaged on what the contours of this agreement are going to look like, and what kind of work will be required to effect progress under this agreement. Much of the work, for instance, related to infrastructure linkages, some of the missing infrastructure linkages, as it were, in the IMEC corridors, is work that makes sense for many of those countries to undertake, whether those links become part of IMEC eventually or not. They have a national relevance and a national salience as well. Wherever India can engage bilaterally, it has already done so, it continues to do so. And even with Saudi Arabia, I would say that we have engaged within the IMEC framework. For instance, barely a month after the signing of the framework agreement, we signed the memorandum of understanding in the field of electrical interconnections and green and clean hydrogen and supply chains. The electricity grid interconnection MOU is something on which work is expected to start imminently in terms of a study to lay out the feasibility of this connection. But as it proceeds, I would say that this would become one of the major pillars of the IMEC initiative. Similarly, we see the possible agreements between the two countries on clean hydrogen as another very important trade-linked initiative under this. So it's not, I know that the political and security situation in the region makes it seem as if progress on IMEC has frozen, but actually we have been working with select partners, and as I think Siddhant referred to the fact that a number of countries have appointed special envoys as well. We have engaged with several of those envoys and exchanged views on what will need to be done. There is a lot of groundwork that needs to be done. We don't need to necessarily wait for the security situation to completely settle down for work to start on IMEC. And you will see, as I imagine in the fairly near future, engagement on IMEC across the all of the partners, original as well as prospective partners, will at some point fructify on the ground. But there is work that has already been going on, and I'm sure during this meeting as well there will be references to what more can be done to take forward work on IMEC. Insofar as the other question on the role that the kingdom is playing on facilitating contacts between Russia and Ukraine and the United States with regard to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Again, obviously, I think some other friends have also raised this question, but it is going to be a significant area of discussion. It is indeed a fact that we had also, the Prime Minister had articulated India's position about the need for dialogue to address and resolve this issue, for people to sit around a table, and for the principal protagonists to sit around the table and find solutions to this. And we are glad to see some of that happening. And it's good that a partner such as Saudi Arabia is involved in this exercise. Again, I cannot prejudge what the nature of the discussions will be, but this is going to be a significant subject of discussions between the two leaders as well. So your question on the combined Hajj group operators. You are aware that over the last decade, we have, government has actually accorded very high priority to consistently raise India's quota, annual quota for pilgrims to be able to perform the Hajj pilgrimage. And it is as a result of these sustained efforts pursued over nearly a decade that India's Hajj quota has risen from 136,020 in 2014 to 175,025 in 2025. Now, you are familiar, I imagine, with the manner in which this quota is handled and administered. And for those colleagues who may not be aware of the minutiae in this regard, out of this total quota of 175,000, the Ministry of Minority Affairs, which works through the Hajj Committee of India, is responsible for managing arrangements for 122,518 pilgrims in the current year under the main quota. And as the Ministry of Minority Affairs has already shared, for this part of the quota that is their responsibility, all the necessary preparations, including the finalization of the flight schedules, transportation, accommodation, etc., have been taken up and completed as per Saudi guidelines. The remaining quota of roughly 52,000 is allotted for administration and management, as is customary practice over a long period of time, to private tour operators. Now, the process of administration of the Hajj is eventually something that is within the domain of the authorities of Saudi Arabia, and in keeping with their updated directions, the Ministry of Minority Affairs this year consolidated a very large number of operators, private operators, more than 800, into 26 combined Hajj group operators and allocated a quota to them well in advance. It is a different matter that many of these, or probably most of these operators were unable to comply with the timelines that had been set by the Saudi authorities, and they failed to finalize the required contracts that were needed for accommodation, especially in Mina, and the transportation arrangements on the ground. And I think we eventually were, or the operators were eventually faced with a situation where they had not completed the necessary formalities, and the deadlines could not be extended any further. In fact, the deadlines have not been extended for any country this year. We have engaged with Saudi authorities at multiple levels. The Saudi authorities have told us that they are very concerned about the safety of the pilgrims and their well-being, especially in Mina. You're aware that the Hajj sometimes takes place, as it will this year, in very hot conditions. Space is always at a premium. You're also aware of the very unfortunate accident that took place last year that resulted in the loss of a large number of lives. So the concern is that we have seen on the part of Saudi authorities is well placed. But nevertheless, the government continued to persist and raise with the Saudi authorities the issue of allowing or enabling the private tour operators to be able to use the quota or part of the quota that was allotted to them. And as a result of this intervention, there has been an in-principle agreement whereby the Saudi Hajj Ministry has agreed to facilitate the registration of an additional 10,000 pilgrims based on current availability in Mina. The Ministry of Minority Affairs has been in touch with the combined Hajj group operators to essentially get them ready to avail of this opportunity, and we look forward to the facilitation of this in the very, very near future. We obviously appreciate this gesture from the Saudi authorities. We remain in touch with them for any further measures that they could take to accommodate more pilgrims. The facilitation of the Hajj is a very important issue bilaterally between India and Saudi Arabia, and it is only to be expected that this issue will figure in the discussions during the upcoming visit. I think I've already addressed Siddhant's questions related to IMEC and the discussions on Russia, Ukraine, etc.
So, Kanol, you have a question there?
Honorable Bhattacharya from the Hindu, sir. My question was that you have mentioned that the security situation did not fully come down for IMEC to go ahead. So the question is India going to keep aside the two-state solution before going ahead with IMEC?
Okay. Sudhi, you have a question?
Thank you, Foreign Secretary, for doing this. Shunirajan from Bloomberg. So, just wanted an understanding when you say infuse more strategic dimension to the energy relationship. India has reduced, in fact, half its pickup of crude oil in comparison to 2019. Is there a promise or an assurance that we are giving to Saudi Arabia to pick up more crude? B, is there any understanding that you could give us on the the promise of Saudi Arabia to invest $100 billion, including a refinery in India? Where does that stand? And finally, sir, do you expect the Prime Minister and the Ground Prince to discuss the controversy in India about Waqf Board and the changes in the law?
Uma?
Sir, I'm Uma speaking from the Strat News Global. I have two questions. You talked about defense and economic economy to be in the agenda. So will the India GCC FTA be part of this talk? And in the defense, there has been an interest from the Saudi side to participate in jointly manufacturing defense platforms. Will that be discussed?
Siddhant?
So Siddhant from beyond, so on the diaspora aspect, how much there will be a conversation given the fact that the largest number of Indians who are in jail anywhere in the world is in Saudi Arabia? That's the first question. My second question is, Saudi Arabia is a leading voice not in the Islamic world but also in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Now that grouping has seen Pakistan misusing that grouping a lot. So how much India will sensitize the Saudi side that Pakistan should not misuse it for anti-India purposes?
Keshav?
Thank you, sir. Keshav Padmanabhan from the Print. Two questions on defense. I know we've signed this deal for $225 million of export of munitions. Are we going to look at more such exports? Is that going to be discussed as a part of the largest strategic relationship? And secondly, BRICS had invited Saudi Arabia to join as a member. This is still a pending issue. Is this going to be discussed, or will this come up between the discussions between Crown Prince Salman and Prime Minister Modi? And would we see some movement with regards to BRICS during this meeting, sir? Thank you.
Take this one.
Okay, we can, maybe let's address these. With regard to Kalol's question on IMEC and the security situation in West Asia, two-state solution, frankly speaking, I don't necessarily see any organic linkage between these two issues. India's position on the two-state solution is a well-held, long-held position, and I don't think there's any need to restate or add anything at this stage to this particular issue. IMEC, as I said, is something where work can proceed in parallel. The security situation impacts only certain areas at a particular point in time, and it is possible to do work on this particular project in a distributed fashion. So I don't see a direct sort of linkage between these two issues. To Shrudi's question on multi-part question on, I think the first three parts of your question on the nature of the strategic dimension of our energy partnership. What are the prospects for picking up more crude from Saudi Arabia and prospective investments, including in a refinery by Saudi Arabia. They're all linked in one way or the other. Insofar as picking more crude is concerned, you're well aware that India buys crude on the open market. We are companies that are involved in the commerce of crude are essentially looking at prices, availability, and security of and ease of supply. So that will continue to be guiding principles. But obviously, with countries such as Saudi Arabia, that has been a reliable partner for a very long period of time, we'll always look to strengthening our relationship with them. So on all of these issues that you have mentioned, I would say watch this space. These are all issues that are under close discussion between the two countries, and we are hoping to see developments in these areas. The last part of your question on Waqf, etc. issues, I haven't seen anything officially from Saudi Arabia or any official organ there with regard to this issue. I'm not sure why this would be brought up. Umar's question on the GCC FTA. Yes, you're right, we have been having discussions with the GCC for an FTA. This is obviously a very important region insofar as bilateral trade is concerned. Overall trade with the GCC countries was nearly $160 billion in 23-24 area. This region has some of our largest energy suppliers, and again features most of the members of the GCC host large Indian diaspora communities and Indian business entities. And therefore, an FTA with the GCC would obviously unlock tremendous economic potential in the partnership. We are keen to make progress. Obviously, that progress is a sum total of the kinds of relationships we have with individual countries in the GCC region. Saudi Arabia being one of the most important among the leading members of the GCC. So we do hope that, and I think it may very well be discussed during this visit as well, as to what are the prospects that we see for an India GCC FTA. Recently, I think probably just about a week ago, the chief negotiators of India and the GCC have had a productive meeting on the FTA, so we look to taking that forward. You also had a question which Keshav also asked about defense, between defense relations. Now, I mean, you know, I mentioned about this major initiative or the major deal in terms of India emerging as a supplier of defense goods to Saudi Arabia. But what is really important on the defense front is the growing and close institutional linkage or the institutional underpinnings that are being put in place in the relationship between the two countries. More exchanges, including by exchanging slots in each other's institutions of higher defense learning, more training opportunities, more exercises, and more high-level engagements, including by way of visits of the chiefs of the respective services to each other's countries. It is this institutionalization that is really going to lend greater solidity to this particular aspect of the relationship. I think in December 2023, Saudi Arabia was elected to hold the presidency of the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium for a 2-year term from 27 to 29. That also shows Saudi Arabia's greater involvement with defense structures and strategic structures in this part of the world. So we are looking at taking this forward. Siddhant, your question on the diaspora in the kingdom. Yes, we do have a large number of Indian nationals detained in prisons in Saudi Arabia, and our mission and our consulate in Saudi Arabia regularly take up the matters of Indian nationals who find themselves in these situations, work with the law enforcement agencies and authorities, as well as the government of Saudi Arabia in addressing these issues. We have signed bilateral agreements addressing different aspects of the detainee issue. We have signed an agreement quite some time back on transfer of sentenced prisoners between India and Saudi Arabia. We have not yet had any transfers take place under that agreement, but we continue to pursue that. There is a mutual legal assistance treaty also on criminal matters which is under negotiation between the two countries. So this is an important area of discussion between us, and it's allotted the highest priority in discussions at every level between the two countries. I'm sure this will be high on the agenda during the forthcoming visit as well. Your other question on Pakistan's misuse of the OIC, it's a habit of long standing, one that we have regularly spoken out against, and also raised with our friends and partners in the OIC. There is a certain view about these shenanigans that Pakistan practices in the OIC on the part of our colleagues and friends amongst the other members of the OIC, but we will continue to share our views and bring to their attention what exactly we think of these attempts that Pakistan habitually makes. Keshav's question on BRICS during the meeting, can't say really whether it will come up in any substantive manner. As you are aware, Saudi Arabia was offered membership. It has not attended at all the levels and in all the forums that BRICS has. We continue to remain engaged with Saudi Arabia to try and gauge and understand their approach to the organization, and I think we'll wait for further developments and for Saudi authorities to share with us how exactly they see their evolving role in this organization. I think we have maybe a couple more.
Aisha.
Thank you, sir. Excellency, this is Aisha Maitro. Prime Minister is slated to visit in a fast reforming country where they're erupting their mega project. You mentioned two words, mega project and entertainment as well as media. So it's in the realm of that. But in the realm of that, the NEOM project is about 8.8 trillion project. Will India be engaged anyway? Will it accommodate its employees, upskills, or AI scientists there? And also, if you could kindly answer, what sort of discussion will be there post USAID there with the philanthropic agencies as well as with the philanthropic agencies as well as with the entertainment catering industries from India?
Akhilesh.
सर डीडी न्यूज़ से मैं अखिलेश सुमन। सर जैसा कि आपने बताया कि सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट डायस्पोरा है सऊदी अरब में और वहाँ भारत के काफ़ी श्रमिक काम करते हैं, तो क्या प्रधानमंत्री जी वहाँ क्राउन प्रिंस के साथ भारतीय श्रमिकों की वहाँ स्थिति है उसके बारे में भी कोई बात करेंगे?
Manas.
This is Manas from PTI Press Trust of India. To your left, yeah. So this is this is again relating to Saudi Arabia's announcement in 2019 during Crown Prince's visit to invest USD 100 billion in India in strategic sectors, including energy sector. So what is the status? And there is a plan also, in fact, a decision to set up a joint working group to channelize the planned investments in various sectors in India. Has the JWG was formed? And if yes, in fact, what are the recommendations, how it is actually looking at the planned investments by Saudi Arabia. Could you just throw some light on that?
Last question, yeah.
Thank you. While away from other media, actually, I just one question is regarding to the defense relation between India and Saudi Arabia in terms of the regional security arrangement in the region. Will it be more of an Indian presence in the region there if warships are on? And if you can highlight the Indian will be talking also with the Crown Prince in regards to the ongoing talk between India and the United States, because the defense minister of Saudi Arabia was recently in Tehran. So for prime important to see that there is a tranquility and peace in the region. Thank you.
Sir. Okay. So on the developments that are taking place in Saudi Arabia in a number of fields, and you referred to NEOM, which is one of the so-called giga projects that is being pursued by the kingdom. So I would say that there is definitely potential for engagement. In fact, there is already engagement taking place on that project and on several other similar projects in the country. Indian companies are already present across diverse sectors in Saudi Arabia, such as engineering, procurement and construction, contracting, oil and gas, telecommunications, IT, technology services, financial services, pharmaceuticals, etc. And a number of our large companies such as L&T, Tata's, construction companies such as Shapurji Palanji and others have already established a presence and are already involved in several of these projects in one way or the other. So I think that aspect is well and truly underway already. And on the entertainment front as well, you're right, Saudi Arabia is paying attention to this particular issue. And as you would be aware, we have a major event that we will be hosting, the World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit in India, in Mumbai early next month. And we've been in discussions with Saudi Arabia as well. And I fully expect that we will host a high-level official delegation from Saudi Arabia for this summit, which will help to build bridges in the media and entertainment industries between our two countries. It will not just enable and facilitate more access to content from each other's countries, but also open the doors for joint production projects and initiatives between the two countries. सुमन, आपका जो सवाल है ये डायस्पोरा और भारतीय श्रमिक जो हैं सऊदी अरेबिया में, क्या उनके बारे में बातचीत होगी। मैंने पहले ही जैसे कहा कि ये एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय है और दोनों देशों के बीच में कई स्तरों पे इस विषय पे बातचीत चलती रहती है और चाहे समिट लेवल हो या मंत्री लेवल पे हो या अफसरों के स्तर पे हो, ये एक ऐसा विषय है जिन पे रोज़ाना ही बात होती है। और मुझे विश्वास है, जैसे मैंने कहा, अब की बारी प्रधानमंत्री जब जाएंगे तो वो एक फैक्ट्री प्रोजेक्ट में जाएंगे जहाँ पे भारतीय कार्मिक वहाँ पे हैं, कारीगर वहाँ पे हैं, उनसे मिलेंगे, उनसे बातचीत करेंगे, उनके हाल के बारे में पूछेंगे। तो ये तो एक मुझे ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि ये विषय अब की बारी जो यात्रा होने वाली है उसमें भी ये विषय उठाया जाएगा। On Manas, your question on, I addressed this earlier. Look, I mean, there is the prospect of significant investment from Saudi Arabia. There are a few procedural issues that Saudi Arabia had raised with regard to the environment in which the Saudi businesses, and principally insofar as this kind of investment is concerned, Saudi sovereign wealth funds, for instance, would invest in India. There are certain issues that they had raised, and we have worked very constructively on those issues. The joint working group that you referred to, I think what you are referring to is the high-level task force on investment. The HLTFI was set up in October 2023, and it had its first meeting last year. Since then, it has had several meetings, both physically as well as virtually. It is led, as you are aware, by the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister on the Indian side and the Energy Minister of Saudi Arabia on the other side. And then there is an executive level also where it is led by the CEO of Niti Aayog on the Indian side and counterpart on the Saudi side. They have had a number of meetings. As I said, in the course of these meetings, several issues have been raised with regard to the overall ecosystem and the environment in which the investment is to take place. We have approached these issues with a very open mind, and we have assured our Saudi friends about addressing their concerns, about giving them the kind of treatment that they, or their investments, the kind of treatment that we give to other valued partners in the region in this particular aspect. And some of these discussions are continuing. As I said, therefore, watch this space. We should see some developments in this area take place as well. And finally, to this question on what the defense cooperation holds, I mentioned that we are attempting to give more substance to the partnership. The opening of defense procurement is one major area, but the setting up of an architecture through which or on the basis of which the two countries engage with each other at leadership level and at the professional operational level as well is going to be an area of attention in the months and years ahead. There will be, of course, exchanges without necessarily there being a regional presence in, if I got you right. There will be a continuing exchanges in terms of between the services of the two countries, all of which have dedicated staff talks that they pursue. So we'll see a number of, I think, important developments in this field in the coming years. And insofar as discussions between other regional partners and Saudi Arabia are concerned, and discussions between India and some of its other strategic partners are concerned, I'm sure that the upcoming visit will give the opportunity to the leaders to exchange perspectives on these issues and see where we are headed on this particular front. Thank you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this press briefing. Thank you very much for your presence.